Hello folks, this is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and this report will be on Good Day, Good Prayers. Hope you're having a great day, beautiful sunshiny day, but very hot today. Today we're talking about the situation of the attack on Iran and on their facilities. The three facilities all had nuclear materials, as well as the ability that they were gaining to be able to create a bomb. And it was a matter of a few days or weeks away. So President Trump had to make the decision to attack now. During the attack, which didn't take very long at all, the attacks were successful, and they did successfully take out the nuclear capabilities. However, the attack on Fordow was actually twofold. We are getting reports now from various places that there was actually two attacks that took place in Fordow. The first one, of course, being the nuclear site, but the second one was a deep state site where several batteries of computer systems were, and it was one of the last of the main facilities that the deep state had for controlling anything that they were hoping to control. Now, back during Operation Paperclip, there was something called Project Looking Glass, and Project Looking Glass was a system by which the future could be told. And that's pretty much all you need to know about that. And there were 200 scientists that were put on this Project Looking Glass to help the deep state globalists figure out a way in which they could win this coming war with the alliance. Now, they already knew that there would be opposition. I don't know that they knew who the opposition was yet at that time, but they knew there was going to be opposition. And so they went ahead, the scientists, and they researched for a very long time. It was over a year, possibly close to 2 years. They finally came back with the fact that there was no way that the globalists were going to be able to win, and that whoever was on the other side was going to be the unanimous winners of the war that was taking place. It was already raging at that time. Now, I believe it was still in the 1940s or the 50s when this all happened. This was not yet before 1963. So the people who were going to be in place for the alliance were not yet known. But the war was already ongoing. And so that's one reason why I say 1947 was probably around the time of the beginning of World War III. 1963 was when President Kennedy was killed, and that was when a new leader was born, a 17-year-old young man who was in ROTC at the time, a commander, and he was being readied for the position of leading the alliance. Of course, we know him today as Donald Trump. The people in Davos and the rest of the places where the deep state people were looked in horror as Fordow was hit and then hit a second time. Because when it was hit the second time, they knew at that point that they had hit the important offices that were a part of the deep state, and that the facilities there and all of the capabilities that were there were destroyed in that final attack. It has been a situation that has been a very long, drawn-out process. Starting, most people would tell you, in 2017, but there are people that will say that it actually started as early as 2015, the current situation that we are in. Now, I am not sure if it was 2015 or if it was 2017. There was a huge war that took place in 2017. Not long after that, there was another war that took the CCP and pretty much placed them into extinction. So we had the first war, which was the War of the Heavenlies. It took place, believed to be over the city of Denver, because that was where most of the lightning and thunderings were taking place. And so it was believed that it happened to be the part of the war that happened in 2017. Now, there is one thing left that I would like to talk about. President Trump this week said to Obama that he needs to be careful because his dealings overseas are getting dangerously close to looking like breaking the Hatch Act. The president, the current president, is the only one that is supposed to be dealing with foreign policy. If it can be proven that President Obama, or former President Obama, has anything to do with any of the policies that are going on in attempting to change them or anything, he could actually lose his life, because that's treason. The people in Congress, AOC and Adam Schiff and a few others, are talking about trying to impeach President Trump again. Part of this is what would probably be referred to as kind of what would they call that? Where they don't want the truth actually coming out, and so they're doing something on the side. And I've lost the word. It was there and all of a sudden gone. I didn't write it on my plate as I normally do, so I can't find it. But it's kind of like camouflage, and that's basically what happened. And so they are out there trying to camouflage some of the things that are going on, and so that's what they're doing. It's kind of sad when the Democrats, in some cases, are rendered unable to handle their own situation, and so they pretty much have to do what the alliance says. And the reason for that is because they're getting dangerously close to the day of execution for a number of those people. Some of them, instead of execution, may get life in prison, and they would be willing to accept that at Gitmo or whatever in place of being executed. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. Please remember to give us a thumbs up, even though we may not remember all the words that we wanted to say on our videos. We would appreciate that. Thank you. Also, please remember to subscribe to Good Day, Good Prayers as well as to DSR Chats. We would appreciate that as well. Now, you folks have a good day, and the way you have a good day is you start it with good prayers, And if they reach the throne of God, you're going to have a good day. So with that being said, good day.